Yeah, it's Bill Jones again from recapturefederalism.com. Recapturefederalism.com. We recapture Federalist Paper 51. We'll be talking about that. Won't be reading anything from there or anything, but Federalist 51, Constitution, is good government. And good government comes from the authority from God, which is what the title is. Notice of Treason, Episode 6, Good Government by the authority from God. And do my oath first. Always do my oath first. I, William R. Jones, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. So help me God. That's the original oath, military oath, going back to 1790 or thereabouts, right after the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, and then the Constitution. And it remained the same until 1953, thereabouts, with the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And they changed it a little bit. I just read the original one because I'm not in the military anymore, but I still support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that's why I gave notice to the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Roberts, two legislative leaders, Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell. Don't have to tell them by law, but I think I should. They're involved in the treason part of the Constitution. Trials held in the Congress. Yeah. Why don't we have more? Well, I know the answer. Because they don't want to admit that they're treasonous, the whole damn bunch of them, including the Supreme Court. But that's why I sent it then to James Comey, FBI, head of the FBI, have them investigate it, bring charges. Won't be able to do it with the Department of Justice. They'll have to go to a judge directly, probably a Supreme Court justice. Then I did, in accordance to law, Bruce Rauner, Governor of the State of Illinois, Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court, Rita B. Garman, and Leo Schmitz, the head of the Illinois State Police. Again, policing. That's why we gave notice to all of them. Because I'm going to follow up, and I've gotten 2 receipts back. Haven't gotten any more. We'll see what happens today. Today's Wednesday, so it's been a week, 7-8 days since it's been mailed out. But I digress again, as if you heard me yesterday, I digressed there too. Where do we get the 3 branches of government? James Madison. He wrote several of the Federalist Papers. He wrote 10. 9 was written by Alexander Hamilton. And 10 was written by James Madison. They talk about insurrection. Insurrection. I talk about insurrection too. Two Federalist papers about insurrection. In 10, James Madison says, we are not a pure democracy. Okay? We're not a pure democracy. And then he goes in 51 and talks about the architecture of the government of the United States and states. Compound republic, federal republic, constitution, state republic, all 50 of them with constitutions. By the way, federal and the states, they all have treason clauses in them. Nobody talks about it. Why is that? Because they're all committing treason. But Illinois Constitution, I'm an individual. Individual opportunities. Not group of opportunities like communism. But James Madison, federal government, 3 branches of government, state governments, 3 branches of government, all 50 states, they're all the same, except the federal and their states. With inherent rights. Now, you get an impression from the federal government, states are supposed to back up. Not supposed to listen to the federal government if they're violating the Constitution, which they are. But James Madison, where did you get that from? Got my Bible. Got my Bible. Isaiah 33, in the Old Testament, the Jewish part, it's all Jewish parts, but, the Old Testament, the Old Torah. Isaiah 33, verse 22, for the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, and the Lord is our king, and he is our Savior. Yeah. 3 branches of government, all based upon God. All based upon God. Then we had Daniel 3, with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and King Nebuchadnezzar. And King Nebuchadnezzar wanted all the people, all the officials of the government under his command, to be praying to golden idol. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, no, we're not going to do that. No. So he tried killing them. King Nebuchadnezzar did. Didn't work. God was with him. God was with him. Then we get to Romans 13, which, by the way, when I sent this notice in, 3rd paragraph, 1st paragraph, I have the oath. 2nd paragraph was personal history, discrimination, violation of the law. And the 3rd paragraph is Romans 13. Because that's the basis of our government. Good government by the authority of God. Good government by authority of God. That's right. So when we have, as we do, the government, the 2 political supremacist parties, enslaving the people, involuntary servitude of the people, and we'll get into that more specifically. That's bad government. And how is it supposed to operate? Let every soul be, this is Romans 13, let every soul be subject to the sovereign authorities. That's God. Okay? Sovereign authorities. God. For there is no power which is not from God, and those who are in authority are ordained by God. How they doing? How they doing? How the Supreme Court doing, and the legislature? executive branch. How they doing? Are they acting like they're operating under authority of God? I don't think so. And I continue, verse 2. Whoever therefore resists the civil authority resists the command of God, and they who resist shall receive the judgment to themselves. Yeah. You see, if they don't do good, we get into that next, right? Next verse. For judges are not a menace to good works, but to evil. So if they don't do good, they're doing evil. And if they don't follow the Constitution of the United States, they're doing evil. And if they transfer their loyalties and their oaths from the Constitution to the Communist Manifesto and the guidelines of the Communist Party, 1921, they're evil. They're doing evil. They don't have the authority of God anymore. Religious persecution. And I'll continue verse 3. Now if you wish not to be afraid of authority, then do good, and you will be praised for it. Verse 4. For the ruler is a minister of God to you for good. But if you do which is wrong, be afraid, for he is not girded with the sword in vain, for he is the minister of God, an avenger of wrath upon those who commit crime. And we'll get into crime, because here's the basis. The Ten Commandments is the basis of our legal basis. It says so here. Wherefore we must be obedient not only in fear of wrath, but also for our conscience sake. For our conscience sake. Yeah. For this reason you pay head tax also, for they are ministers of God who are in charge of these things. That's a reasonable head tax, by the way. Not, I'll get into a little later about communism. Progressive tax and forced loans, page 49 in the Communist Manifesto. Verse 7, render therefore to everyone as due to him, head tax to him who is in charge of head tax, duty to him who is in charge of taxes, reverence to whom reverence is due, honor to whom honor is due. That's if you follow the authority of God, that is, reverence and honor. Because if you're not reverent to the authority of God, and you don't honor the authority of God, you're dishonoring it. Dishonoring God. You're putting other things in front of God. 8, owe no man anything. Oh yeah. But love one another, for he who loves his neighbor has fulfilled the law. He has fulfilled the law. Which says, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet. And if there is any other commandment, it is fulfilled in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Yeah. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And 10, love does not work evil to his neighbor, because love is the fulfillment of the law. Fulfillment of the law. Know this also, that now is the time and the hour that we should awake from our sleep, for now our salvation is nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Huh. Cast off the works of darkness. That's Satan. It's the devil. Beelzebub. The Old Testament. The Lord of the Flies, the Lord of the Dung. Darkness. The Prince of Darkness. And let us put on the armor of light, the Prince of Light. For us Christians, for Jews, it's God. For Christians, it's a triune God. The Prince of Light. Prince of Peace. The Prince of Love. Let us walk decently as in the daylight, nor not in clamor and drunkenness, not in the practice of immorality, not in envy and strife, but clothe yourselves with our Lord Jesus Christ and disregard the lust of the flesh. That completes chapter 13. It's what the Constitution's based upon. That's what the Federalist Papers 51 is built on. That's what it's built on. Love thy neighbor, not greed. You have these people like Soros and Bloomberg. Hatred. Take their money and all the money and the blessings they got. Pay off politicians. Democratic Party. Evil. The Republican establishment just as evil. Okay. That's why I gave notice of treason. It's treason. It's going against the authority of God. It's religious persecution for those believers. Then got my readings. Page 26 of the Communist Manifesto. You see, the Supreme Court has these rulings, and they no longer rule in favor of the Constitution. They're ruling in favor the Democratic jurists are ruling in favor of the Communist Manifesto and the guidelines of the Communist Party in 1921. Yeah. They're treasonous. Violating the 13th Amendment, slavery and involuntary servitude. Making rulings in favor of that. The one percenters, the rich people. Taking property rights away. There are besides eternal truths such as freedom, justice, etc., that are common in all states of society. But communism abolishes eternal truth and abolishes all religion and all morality. Instead of constituting them on a new basis, it therefore acts in contradiction to all past historical experience. Historical experience of communism is, by the way, is death, slavery. Since 1847, 1848, that's when the prophets, the atheist prophets, Marx and Engels came up with this. So that was page 26. But communism abolishes eternal truth and it abolishes all religion and all morality. I just got through reading. Romans 13, the basis for our Constitution, the authority from God, the Ten Commandments. That's the basis of our legal system. But oh no. We have the Supreme Court justices and the legislatures in all the states adhering to the Communist Manifesto. Page 34 of the Communist Manifesto. Finally, they labor everywhere for the union and agreement of the democratic parties of all countries. Then you'll hear these politicians talking about democracy. We're not a pure democracy. We're a republic. Principles. Republican principles. Republics. 50 of them. Soon to be 51 if Puerto Rico can get their act together. And one federal republic. Finally, they labor everywhere for the union and agreement of democratic parties of all countries. And covetedness, that's what we have with the unions, especially teachers' unions. Yeah. They're treasonous. Teachers are treasonous. That's what they teach in schools. That's why you have these people, well, for Bernie Sanders. They've indoctrinated the young children, taking them away from God and the Constitution and good government. Go to his website. He's got his hand up. The Lenin fist of violence and hatred. Not love thy neighbor. He only loves those that are insiders with communism. The outsiders, we the people, he dislikes. And I continue on page 34 of the Communist Manifesto. The communists disdain to conceal their views and aims. They openly declare their ends can be attained only by the forcible of all existing conditions. Let the ruling classes tremble at the communistic revolution. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their change, and they have a world to win. Working men of all countries unite. And as I say, insurrection started May 4th, 1886. Working men are united in Chicago through a dynamite bomb, killing 7 cops, Chicago cops. A combination of legal and illegal work, and illegal work killing cops. The soldiers. The whole section there is about soldiers, the gangs in Chicago and urban areas and around the country. Yeah, they're soldiers. Yeah. Need to put a stop to that, don't we? But communism abolishes. Oh no, let's see. Let the ruling classes tremble. They're terrorists. And forcible overthrow of all existing conditions, such as Romans 13 and the Constitution and authority of God. Authority of God. Yeah, here I got it here. Question 14 on the principles of communism. 1848. The last paragraph gets rid of that. They don't believe in private property. Communists. They don't believe in that, and that's a central tenet of the Constitution and authority from God. Everything we have from God. Those that believe. Those that believe everything you have comes from God, creation. Atheists and communists do not believe it. So they're overturning all the social conditions. Yeah. That's what they're doing. And what does it say? In fact, the abolition of private property is doubtless the shortest, most significant way to characterize the revolution in the whole social order which has been made necessary for the development of industry, and for this reason it is rightly advanced by communists as their main demand. Well, they want to take it all the property, and they want to control it all. And how are they going to do that? How are they going to do that? Well, under question 18, what is the course of revolution? I'm not going to read these paragraphs, but I'm going to read there's 13 demands in 1848. limitation of private property through progressive taxation, heavy inheritance tax, abolition of inheritance through collateral lines, brothers, nephews, etc. Forced loans. Forced loans. That is involuntary servitude. And the national debt, the trillions of dollars national debt that the legislature and the executive branch has done to you, okay, started under Bush. And then Mr. Obama, communist, did a whole piece on that. Gradual expropriation of landowners, industrial railroad magnates, ship owners, partly through competition by state industry, partially directly through compensation in forms of bonds. Oh, bonds. Got a bond industry going, don't we? Bond industry. Yeah. And when they did, General Motors, the president, went into the judiciary and pulled the case, the bankrupt case out of it, violated the separation of powers, pulled out, gave the company, part of the company, General Motors, to the union, and did away with the bonds. The bondholders got nothing. That's a common folk in the pension programs and the bonds and what have you. Boom, gone, gone, gone. Treasonous act. Violation of separation of powers. And the Supreme Court didn't say anything. They said, oh, no, you can't do that. It's in the judiciary. They went to the judiciary. No. But you have Biden, Obama, Bin Laden dead, General Motors alive. Yeah, illegally, treasonous act. And number 3, confiscation of possessions of all immigrants and rebels against the majority of the people. This is not I, this is E, immigrants. Those leaving out. Charlie Schumer, Senator Schumer, all upset. A Facebook founder, I believe, or Google, one or the other. Don't make any difference. He was from Brazil, became a citizen here. Then he moved over to Indonesia or somewhere over there in Asia, Singapore, somewhere. Took all his money. And Charlie Schumer is all upset. Didn't they care that he moved out there and he gave up his citizenship? But he took the money. He took his money. Smart guy, he took his money. But they consider them a rebel. Consider them a rebel. God bless him for doing what he did. Not Mr. Schumer, I'm talking about the Facebook guy, I think. 4, organization of labor or employment of proletarians on publicly owned land in factories and workshops, with competition among the workers being abolished, and with factory owners, insofar as still exist, being obligated to pay the same high wages as those paid by the state. You get the minimum wage, which is page 25 of the Communist Manifesto. It shouldn't have it. Shouldn't have unions with the power that they have either. But competition abolished between workers. Free enterprise system. Yeah. Good government. Yeah. Individuals. Love thy neighbor. Not love thy neighbor. Number 5, equal obligation of all members of society to work until such time as private property has been completely abolished. Formation of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. And here, number 6, income tax Income tax. Income tax, I say income tax is our 16th Amendment, treasonable act. I won't get into it too deep, but it's a treasonable act. The Federal Reserve, a treasonable act, been going on. Involuntary servitude, they give you nothing for your money in the banks. And yet they got these Visa and MasterCard with high interest rates. And they nullified the state usury laws. Usury laws, by the way, St. Thomas Aquinas, he developed the usury laws 1,000-some years ago. And there 18 states had usury laws, nullified. A case, Marquette Bank versus First Omaha Credit Service, 1978. 1978. Yeah. We're going to have a talk with Governor Rauner, I hope, regarding that. We're going to do away with that law. Not going to recognize that law. We're going to have the state of Illinois go back to having usury laws, 12% max on interest rates. Not no 27% and all your fees and everything. We're going to bring back savings and loans. And the banks in the states. Yeah. That's all that's been done. Yeah. Privacy laws. Centralization of money and credit in the hands of the state through a national bank with state capital and suppression of all private banks and bankers. Yeah, that's what they've done. That's the principles of communism. Principles of communism. Increasing the number of national factories, workshop, railroad ships, bringing new lands into cultivation, improvement of land already under cultivation, all in proportion to the growth of capital and labor force at disposal of the nation. This is where you get EPA, you get the aura from Lifton's Thought Reform, chapter 22, the loaded language of communism, which is right behind the aura of sacred science. I'll get into that sometime. Climate change, global warming. Come on. Done a piece on that, too. Debunked that. Now I get comments from people. Yeah, I'm crazy. No, I'm not crazy. People don't know this. 8. Education of all children from the moment they leave their mother's care in the national establishment at national cost. Education and production together. They're not going to have child labor laws. They're going to do away with them, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Construction on public lands of great places of communal dwellings for associated groups of citizens engaged both industry and agriculture, combining their way of life and advantages of urban and rural conditions while avoiding the one-sidedness and drawbacks of each. Back in the 60s, the communal stuff, it was all communism. Yeah, public housing, FHA, 1949, communism. Do away with that, too. Do away with that. States take over that stuff. Do away with that. Destruction of all unhealthy and jury-built dwellings in urban districts. See, this is going back to Europe. We don't have that. We never have that. We never had that because we had a free enterprise system. We had a good government working. So we had a base for good stuff happening. But oh no, the 1%, the bankers and the big wigs, Hollywood types, Yeah, they're taking it all. Greed, 7 deadly sins. Equal inheritance right for children born in and out of wedlock. There we go. Wedlock, homosexuality. Oh yeah, same-sex marriage. Concentration of all means of transportation in the hands of the nation. Amtrak, railroads, Conrail. Back in the 70s, back under communist Nixon. So that's the 13 I read there. Yeah. The last paragraph of this question, 18. Finally, when all capital and all production, all exchange have been brought together in the hands of the nation, private property will disappear of its own accord, money will become superfluous, and production will so expand and man so change that society will be able to slough off whatever its old economic habits may remain. Slavery. 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 And I'm going to do one more thing, and I'm going to go for today. One more. 23, question 23. This is where we're going to go. It all has to do when you get rid of good government because of authority from God. This is based off of question 22 in the Confession of Faith, Communist Confession of Faith, to religion, atheistic religion. And then they change it, they build off of that, and they have the principles of communism off of that. And it's question 23. What is the attitude to existing religions? All religions so far have been an expression of historical stages of development of individual peoples or groups of people. Individuals. Remember I tell you about the state of Illinois, individual opportunities. Yeah, well, that's what religion is too. It's individual. Okay? So maybe all religions so far have been expressions of historical stages of development of individual peeps or groups of people. You know, like Jews. Chosen people. We're chosen too. Yeah, our founders, framers, chose the authority of God. But communism is a stage of a historical development which makes all existing religions superfluous and brings about their disappearance. Yeah, I read this, didn't I? But communism abolishes eternal truth and abolishes all religion and all morality. So, there we have it. Probably about 39 minutes. So, with that, we'll be posting this on my site, recapturefederalism.com, recapturefederalism.com, also on YouTube, if I get around to it, Vimeo, and Twitter. I put it on Twitter too, and we're going to be putting it more on there. Good day.